And welcome everyone to Wizards Outlook. We got Raymond Lyons with us, Cardell Dudley Jr., and Wilson Tarpe Jr. And Ray, where do you want to start with this one? I know you weren't here for pregame, but I'll let you know what Cardell and I talked about. Everything that happened during that 21-4 run that kind of blew this game open is what we discussed. And it went the way you thought it did. But those were the things that we took our time to carefully discuss and make folks aware of. And then that happened. And for the third straight game, in the words of Cardell, another team was due, had their night. Before you go though, Ray, shout out to Alex Sarr. He scored his 1,000th career point in tonight's game versus Boston, doing so in his 75th career game. Sarr becomes the third fastest player to reach 1K points, 100 threes, 100 blocks for his career, behind only Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren, and they did it in 59 games.
Um, they got it out the way early, man. They hit the magic number in the second quarter, and it was off to the races for the Celtics from there. I mean, it's amazing how these games continue to unfold the same way. The Wizards, they got off to a solid start, 37-26 at the end of one. But I mean, it seems like teams just know that at some point they're going to have an opening and they're going to seize it, and the Wizards aren't going to be able to fight back. And that's just exactly what happened. Boston ramped up their defense. Then the run started to open up. Shots started falling, and that was all she wrote. The Wizards never adjusted. Um, Sarr was pretty much the only person that came to play. Yeah, man, it's just looking at the production or lack thereof. CJ and Bud combined 1 for 15 and 4 points. Yeah, you just can't do that, man. It's bad. 1 and 7. Yeah, I don't even know where to where to go from here. Yeah, nothing worked. As soon as Boston flipped the switch, game was over, and like they didn't even they didn't even pinch them in retaliation from that point on. It was just an onslaught, and Boston put their foot on the gas and and steamrolled them.
Cardell. You're on mute.
I'm starting to sound like a broken record. Pregame said you got to start on the defensive end. If you play respectable defense, it will feed your offense, and guys will start to shoot better, and the ball will move or whatever. First quarter they did that. Sarr came out deadly efficient, getting it done. Had 10 and 5 in the first quarter. The Wizards overall shot 52% from the field, 60% from deep, 80% from the line. Keyshawn had 7. Champagny had 6. He was hustling, getting offensive rebounds and ones and stuff. Trey and Bub came off, contributed. Bub had 3, 4, and 2 in the first quarter. Marvin Bagley 7. Cam got a bucket. They was flowing. And then the Celtics turned up the defensive intensity. They started pressing them 94 feet. Young fella, Derek White, and then the young fella like Jordan Walsh and those guys, they really got after the Wizards' primary ball handlers, Keyshawn, and whoever was running point. It don't even matter. Whoever was at guard. If you start dribbling the ball, they was pressuring 94 feet, and that threw the Wizards off. That stopped their pace that they was trying to keep up, that they kept up in the first quarter, which allowed them to get their 11-point lead. And once that happened, the turnovers came, then the pressing and bad shots came, and then the ass whooping was underway. And I'm about to read something off that's gonna make y'all just probably turn off your computers, man. In that second quarter, the Wizards' defensive rating was 173.2. 173.2.
173?
173.2, their defensive rating. And their offensive rating was a 91.3. 173.2. The Celtics in the second quarter had shooting splits of 66, 50, and 80. They out-rebounded the Wizards 15-4. Obviously, outscored them 44-23. 6 turnovers. They only turned over the ball over once. They scored 9 points off those turnovers. They had 8 second chance points, 6-0 fast break points, all in that second quarter. I don't even need to continue. The game was over then. We also said coming in, Boston was struggling to score the ball, and a lot of their key guys got right tonight. They finished the game with shooting splits of 54, 39, and 76. Jaylen Brown, who I knew was going to come in and go crazy because I knew he was pissed from the other game with Utah. 35, he had like 24 at the half, something like that. Finished with 35, 5 and 5, 13 and 21. Really no resistance. Josh Minot, career high, 21, 5, 8 of 12. Former Timberwolves player. Quater, talked about him in the pregame. 15 and 12. And 5 assists on 7 of 7 from the field. Derek White just doing what he do. 8 assists, just controlling the game, help control the game, 12 points. And Peyton Pritchard, 18 points and 7 to 12 from the field, 5 assists. Anthony Simons, 18. We used to him. We know he can get a bucket and all that. They had 6 players in double figures in the game, man. It was just a thorough beatdown. I mean, even listening to the Boston broadcast, former NBA player Brian Scalabrine, who I listen to a lot on Sirius XM, the NBA channel. When Sarr was off the floor, it was like he was saying a lot more. All the Celtics need to do is just drive and just put their head down and go to the rim. Don't settle for threes unless it's just a kick out because they shrink the floor. Said no one on the Wizards can move their feet. They can't guard nobody. He was saying that constantly. So if the analyst for the opposing team is saying that, what do you think the rest of the league is saying? Until they, it's a lot more to defense just saying 1-2, but it begins with 1-2. You got to want to get it stopped, man. This will never change if their defense just continue to be this way. It's going to be more blowouts and beatdowns. I hear people saying, they just want to tank and get another pick and all that. How many years you going to keep tanking to get another pick? You know what I mean? And also, even that's the case, be more competitive than this. Like, I don't think these youngers don't understand 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. You're going to look up and be ready for your second contract, and you're going to look at your first few years of your career like, damn, what have I really done? And you don't know what your shelf life is as a player. You may think you could try to get to 10, 15. If God really got his hands on you 20 years or something like that, but that's not usually the case for most players. So what if your career ended 6 years and you look back your first 3 or 4 years and it's like this? Like, nah, man. It's no way you could be okay with this, man. It's no way, man. So they have a lot of work to do. And it continues, man. We keep sounding like I said, a broken record, talking about the same old things, but nothing will ever change until they really take it to heart to correct things on defense, man. And I'm not even the type that I like both ends. I know I preach defense the most because that's what I see that's lacking the most. Look across the league, you don't need to motivate too many players to get shots up. they're gonna be ready to score. But defensively, it's just a lot to be desired across the league. And especially with the Wizards, man. Yeah, man. It's just no resistance whatsoever, man. And until they decide like they had enough of being honestly embarrassed, they're gonna continue to get embarrassed.
Yeah, there's nothing left to add. I'm still trying to process that defensive rating. That's a disgusting rating. So I'm just gonna put this up on the screen. As you said, most of what we've been saying in pregame, I'm sure if I cut it all up and just put it into one long video, or just like a 4-minute video, we're saying the same things each and every game. So like y'all, like both of y'all said, soon as they give us something different to talk about, we'll know that something's changed. As soon as we're on here talking about something else. Player of the game.
Jaylen Brown, easy.
All right. That was quick. X factor for you guys.
Josh Minot, his defense with Walsh and the boys in the second quarter, when they really got Derrick, man, when they got on the boys 94 feet, it was game over. And then obviously, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 8 of 12, 3 of 6. Again, what do I always say? If you can move on offense, you can move on defense. His athleticism and stuff like that, always been that freak athlete stuff. Early days in Minnesota, he was similar to what you kind of see on with a lot of teams, a lot of young players, offensive minded. Let me get my shots. Let me get my rope. He gets the chance to play in Boston because he really didn't play in, Minnesota. And obviously, you come into a team that's a couple years off a championship, it's a standard. And Boston head coach, he ain't gonna let you slack. So, they said the preseason for him to get on the floor, he would have to first show he can defend at a high level, which he hasn't been showing. And what does defense usually do? It translates to your offense, the energy and stuff. It's funny how I just come back to you, the ball finds you and stuff, and that's what you saw tonight. And at a career night, like we've been hooting and hollering about, Keyshawn and stuff like that. He outplayed Keyshawn and Bilal Coulibaly, man. I don't know Coulibaly. Geez, Josh Minot, dog. He did it all, and this is a game he could try to ride, and try to build some momentum, man, because he's been getting it done, man.
Ray, did you have another candidate? You going with Josh Minot as well?
Yeah, no argument for me. No need to make it complicated.
Hey, man, same here, and I appreciated that his activity level didn't drop on either end of the ball. Like you said, that his energy, the ball kept finding him, and he deserved having a great night. I'm definitely gonna try to keep an eye forward to see how he, maybe works his way up in the rotation, whatnot, gets more minutes. But yeah, it's just a hell of a win by Boston for Washington. You got Cleveland coming in your building on. Jaylen Brown just did what he did. You got Donovan coming in here. You got
Garland's
back for that game.
He's back tonight, yeah.
Of course. So you have their healthy backcourt for the second time this season. Congrats. Which, you might at some point want to start stopping people. And then you got Dallas after that. Then you got your favorite group of people that like putting hands on people in Detroit on Monday in their house. Hey, man. It's a decision to get stops. Go get them, or, it's going to be more of this. But we appreciate y'all as always. We're checking with y'all Friday and Saturday night after both of those after the Wizards back-to-back.